everyone, welcome to Sim Racers World TV for another season of virtual Belcar series here on the channel. My name is Hector, I'm joined by Jack Johns, and we are at the Hockenheim ring for the opening round of the 2021 Season 2. Can I safely say, the best series that we have on the channel? One of the best series around in Europe, the virtual Belcar series. Anyway, we have the grid on display, and I'm gonna go through it as quickly as I can because there are a lot of cars indeed. Nolan Lemarais for Valkyrie Esports X on pole position ahead of Eli Goldstein, as well for Valkyrie Esports by the Francorchamps Miniatures, and that is a really cool team sponsor to have, one of the coolest makers of model cars. So sweet to see. Fabrice Cornell is reigning champ. SimTag E-Team number 4 machine in 3rd place ahead of Scott McFall in the Sim District, GT3. Maxime van den Hove for GT Racing ahead of Jiri Crispin for Fast Racing by Extreme in 6th. Jarno Hau for Total Plan Racing in 7th ahead of Senne Hulsmans for Flemish. Tim Jacobs and Matthias Maas, that's the 5th row of cars. And on the 6th rows, that's Didier Dexters and Dirk Bouts. Just scrolling down the grid to see the next drivers, we got Cemil Yagisoglu ahead of Robbie DB in 13th and 14th place, the 7th row, if you will. Then Jeremy Hessels and Carlos Maestro. What a nice name. We might see some mastery from his side indeed here. And then Nathan van Kerkhove in 17th place, leading the Porsche Cup machines, Bodebein Kuster. Christoph Raas, Ward Malach for Sim Formula Europe, that is in 3rd place ahead of Ricardo Michaelewski. Steve Kleisch, Ruben van Buel, and Robin DeVille behind. And another scroll is needed, so it shall be 25th overall. Olivier van Herk for the Tata Network Esports ahead of Jelle Verstraeten, Abel Kurt, and Sven Bollen, Lucas Romano, Jeremy de Boever. And well, we're just gonna hop down to the to the GT4s. Through the GT4s, down to the TCRs, because otherwise I am gonna get under some serious time pressure. Olivier Bultwink leading pole position there ahead of John Bruins, Ronnie Heyman, Hendrik de Graep, Nils de Kuiper, Thijs van den Berge, and Bart Lievens. 40 cars, as you said. It is going to be a huge mix of the field here early days, and we're looking forward to it. We're going green in just about a second, and another season of Belcar racing is just about to go underway here. Mind you, safety car peels off to the right to the pit lane, and the drivers are not allowed to go before they see the green flag, so no early running, which you see very orderly here from Nolan Lemarais. And there it is, green flag for Hockenheim, and the 2021 season of the virtual Belcar series is underway. Season 2, that is, of course, and turn 1, a crucial point. That way you win the race, but you could certainly lose it here. The Lambos are through nice and clean, it seems, and no big shuffling here now, just waiting for the rest of the field to come piling through. And amazingly, Jack, I think we've had everyone pretty much safely through turn 1 there. It's a huge field, but they've managed to do it.
Yeah, amazing skill from all the drivers there. Turn 1 is one of those corners where you need to play it smart, and you need to effectively be willing to give a little bit of space and back out of moves. If you know someone's going to send it out the inside, you need to let them have it. But then we're coming down to that hairpin that we mentioned earlier. There's a move there. Oh, there's a bit of contact going around the hairpin between those two. That's going to lose them 2 places as one of the Lambos goes right around the outside of those two. And then you've got the Porsches still sticking with those cars up ahead, and the GT4s. This is madness as we get some more tags round. That's one of the yellow Porsches. Oh, I missed the number there. He's flashing his headlights. Not happy about that in the GT4 class, as we are on with Jelle Verstraeten coming around Sector 2. And here are the Lambos up ahead. So the Valkyrie Esports guys split now down the middle by Fabrice Cornelis and the Sim Tag E-Team, number 4, up into 2nd place.
Had a bit of a problem for Decipit Racing Team. That's a poor start for them, of course. Proper, genuine championship contenders they would be, but Decipit getting turned around, and I think he comes off the worst because the entirety of the TCR field. Oh, and he collects the Flemish car, and the 69 gets sent on his roof as well. What a poor start. That's the Flemish red car, I think, of Hendrik de Graep. Robin de Ville for Flemish in the Porsche Cayman GT4 machine. He's leaning Thomas Stockmans for Tata in the 84 BMW M4. And then Bram Bellemans for the Brab team.
Oh,
there's been a major incident here, I'm afraid. Oscar Pai with the BMW of Jürgen Gülicher. And let's see. Oh, he gets touched. Oh, that's heavy into the wall.
That's clumsy. The GT4 field. In terms of them, Robin DeVille still in the lead, gained 4 places from the start for Flemish Sim Sports. So looking good in the GT4 class. This is Henrik de Grave, who we saw have a big crash earlier, chasing down Mike Goosens in the 54 car. These Audis do look good. Look at they've got a nice matte liveries actually. We don't often see cars use matte in their liveries. Sort of the matte black, very nice. I like that yellow, red and black car, that's for sure.
Scott McFall right on the tail of Erlenbrook still, and it's now a two-way battle for the lead. We've got Jarno de Hau for Totalplan Racing in the number 20 car, who's done a very, very good job of staying safe over the opening stages of this race. Senna Hulsmans in 4th place, and then Nolan Lemaray up into 5th, which leads us to the leader in BLC 2, which is Bouter van Kuster for JWS Motorsports. And there is a healthy gap of 14.5 seconds down to Christoph Raas for Flemish Sim Sports Yellow. And that is, of course, the 999 machine. As you can see underneath the rear wing, if you're a keen viewer as well, here it says 999. And a very good pun that is indeed. Robin DeVille is leading the GT4s ahead of Thomas Stockmans in the Data Network Esports machine.
Got a yellow Porsche there up the road. That's probably the 209 Porsche of Kevin van der Wielen. Currently down in 36th overall. But he was the one who had an issue with Hendrik de Grave earlier on in this race with a poor rejoin. Henrik de Grave's grave being dug quite early on lap 1.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a tough one for the Flemish team in that regard. Still doing well. The yellow team, Christoph Raas in the 999 alongside the TCR, the red TCR that is. Of course, Robin DeVille leads for Flemish as well in GT4, so before saying it's bad for the entirety of the team, we should have a look through the standings here. But indeed, it's been tough for the TCR of Hendrik de Grave, and that might be something that could catch up to them and cause some trouble later in the season, because they have been title contenders more or less every season of virtual Belcar racing that we've had so far. So a bit of a disappointment here in the opening 40 minutes or so, but of course still time to make amends as well here as Nolan Lemaray goes up into 4th place. Goes past Senna Hulsmans in the 13 Flemish Sim Sports white machine. And like moving up the order and at a very, very quick pace at the moment.
Looking good. 2 hours and 15 minutes left of this race on lap 27, as we can see Vince Peters in the pits there, getting some new tyres by the looks of it.
That was the 11 car coming in here after 26 laps. A little earlier than expected, I have to say. Christoph Raas inherits the leads now ahead of Greg Frank, Steve Klaus, and Ricardo Michalewski. Dominant as usual, I want to say, because it's a picture we've gotten used to seeing by now. Vince Peters ahead of a gang of Lamborghinis. Basically is ahead of half of the BLC 1 field here after just an hour of racing, which is in itself pretty impressive. Second in BLC 2 at the moment is Hans Poelmans in the 999 machine. Of course, that's Flemish Sim Sports Yellow.
Oh, look at this. Olivier Van Herk race it. So this is the Porsche GT4 versus the BMW GT4. Both the same class going side by side into Sector 2. Is any move going to get done here on the inside? The Porsche is doing those little intimidation looks where if you just show your nose up on the inside, you can potentially scare the car in front to go wide, and then the position's yours. Doesn't always work, and sometimes can cost you time, as it looks like Sebastian is coming into the pits.
Yeah,
so
Sebastian.
Over.
Yeah, excuse me, but Sebastian Keimel coming in here in the number 12 car, and that sets off the round of pit stops, I think, for the GT4s. Well, that said, I think everybody else actually in the GT4s has had their pit stops, except for Sebastian. But this is the second pit stop for the Flemish Sim Sports black machine, and they were leading earlier on, so something must have happened to them as well, causing them to take another pit stop earlier on there.
will get a bit of slipstream unless there's quite a large gap in front. The gap between Cedric and Maxime is about it's close to 3 seconds. So those two are really going to be wanting to close down to that lead. We're on with Lawrence DeWitt here. He looks like he's about to get past. That's for position, I think, into the hairpin. The number 12 and 25 car. That looks extremely close. The Green Leaf Racing team. Getting a move done there, or were they defending? I lost track of where I was. I just saw a comment from Sen Holzman saying that he had a penalty in the pits.
Sen Holzman picking up a pit lane speeding penalty, which is certainly not what you want to get. It's always so frustrating as a driver, because you have a feeling that these sort of penalties are indeed avoidable, but at the same time you want to make sure that you don't lose any unnecessary time here. Sebastian Keimel in the 12th car goes through there on the inside of Lawrence DeWitt in the Greenleaf Racing machine, and takes that 5th place away from Greenleaf Racing in GT4 or in BLC 3. That is. Leaders, by the way, of BLC 3 at the moment here, Data Network Esports and Olivia van Erck in that car, the 84 BMW, having driven a very good race so far. They've had 2 pit stops as well, so they're now behind the Flemish SimSports yellow car, currently driven by Hans Poelmans, and that is a very good situation to be in for the 999 machine here, with 35 seconds on the car behind now.
That big old headlight in the middle, which I don't know about you, but for me it's so off-putting when that's in your mirror. I can tell you that. It's really bright and really low down. We've got here, yeah, take over Haas. We've got a little battle here. Is he going to make a move into the hairpin for the fast racing team? Not quite. Oh, is he?
I think he was thinking about it. He was that close, and then maybe even the Flemish car of Alexander Raj there, he thought that the move was being sent. It actually wasn't, but he gave the space anyways. And that is the big advantage of showing yourselves just in the mirrors and just making your presence felt at all times, because it's an ever-present stress factor to have a car in the mirrors in that sense. And Jerry Crispin doing a very good job of applying the pressure to the rear of that car ahead here. Have a look around the other classes. Sim Racing Baggio, that is a very good call indeed. Hans Poelmans in the 999 Flemish SimSports yellow machine, leading BLC2. That's the 911 Cup cars, of course. Vince Peters in that JWS Motorsports 11 car, up into second yet again after a early second pit stop.
Kim Bayet in the Flemish SimSports red. Have I said that right? What do you reckon?
It's Kim Bayet.
Oh, I'm always going to get this wrong. I'm going to commit to it. Flemish SimSports red in 6th places. Kim Bayet.
Alexander Raas in the Flemish SimSports white machine. He's chasing Dirk Bouts in the PSR car and has been closing in, I think, over the last few laps here.
We were talking about Alexander Raas in the Flemish SimSports white team. He is a new driver to the Flemish team, younger brother of Christoph. Average age in the Flemish Lamborghini isn't even 18 years old. He says this Flemish team is the junior team that's fully chasing down P4 of Dirk Bouts in the PSR car, as you can see. Alexander Raas right behind him as they go into the final stadium section on this lap. Lap 65 of this 3-hour race.
Indeed, and it's moving along quickly here. The Flemish Lambo certainly looking for a move on Dirk Bouts in the PSR car here now. By the way, thanks Sim Racing Baggio for the nice comment as well. We do appreciate that big time. That has to be said like any other YouTuber, I guess, as we would call ourselves that in the end, since we are on YouTube and we are live. But if you do like what we do here on Sim Racers World, leave us a like. And if you want to see more of the virtual Belcar series, or of one of the other, or many of the other great series that we have on display here on Sim Racers World TV, hit that subscribe button. And with that said, it's just over an hour left, and I feel like we haven't had the last say. And oh, look at that! Whew, that was close indeed. The 15th place Lambo at the moment is the car of Kenneth Franken in the B-Sim Racing GT3 machine. That very, very nearly got into a big calamity there. And yeah, luckily they kept it sort of clean indeed.
And that is Bonduel in the 219 car up into P4. It's going to be really interesting because I can't work out. We've got so long of this race left. I cannot work out. Oh, look at this move. It's around the outside. I got it done before turning on the next bit. Alexander Russ there, the number 13 car in P7. Fascinating to see where these guys are going to finish. It really is. We've got another pit stop probably coming up in the next sort of I'd say few minutes. We've just gone over the 2-hour mark. So I would assume there's a pit stop phase coming up. And then that's really going to reshuffle the order. And then it'll be a final run to the end. Kim Behait from Flemish Sim Sports Red is in 6th place.
Look at this here. Kim Behait, also a very experienced driver who's dealing with the traffic in a fine manner indeed here.
Yeah, that's actually the next Audi up the road as well. So if he can get through cleanly, there might be a change in position at some point for these Audis. So Kim Behait is chasing down P5 and P4, who are only up the road. He's in vision. The number 71 car of Luke Tice.
Yeah, indeed. But with this amount of traffic, it's a tough ask indeed. And for the TCRs, it's very much just a question of you just have to let everyone through. And it's all the time finding your rhythm interrupted by the faster classes.
Now. They definitely can see each other now, but there is still a poor Lambo there.
Those 2 seconds, and that was actually 3 seconds a second ago, I was about to say, close very quickly, and look at Kim Behait on the outside now, getting a very good run. I think he's going to get past here easily in the braking zone. And very much so. That's a very, very swift change for position. That's a swift execution from Kim Behait in the Flemish Sim Sports Red machine.
Didn't expect it to happen that fast, but it did.
Yeah, it did. And I was just about to say I wanted it to go on for a little longer, you know, like certain other things in life. You want some of the good things. You want to enjoy them for a bit, like a good battle in motor racing. But we didn't get to have that this time around.
I'm wondering if Luke Tice is monitoring an issue of some sort. Oh, well, as I say that, he goes for a look up the inside of the hairpin. Christoph Raas in the Flemish Sim Sports Yellow team, 999. Well in the lead of the BLC2 class in the Porsches.
Yeah, 30 seconds, but Boudewijn Kuster is a very fast gentleman. And I wouldn't put it past him to be able to close those 30 seconds up to Christoph Raas. And as I mentioned before, if the trend continues, well, this battle for first and second in BLC2, Belcar 2, the 911 Cup cars, is not going anywhere either. At least that's one to watch out for. At the moment, we've had a bit of a switching of the order as well in BLC 3 with Brab now leading, and they're leading Flemish Sim Sports Black, but only by 1.3 seconds. And I think for once, one of my predictions has come true here, and we're seeing a race as we love it the most, Jack. An endurance race that comes together at the end, and where everything closes in and the fighting really heats up in the final hour here. And I think this one might go all the way to the line, not only at the head of the overall field, but right throughout as well. And we'll be kept on our toes all the way through. That is for certain, as we're watching this pit stop.
And look at this. This is Christoph Rice passing the Audis as well in the 999 car. We have a look at the timing screen quickly. What is the gap between them now? 29 seconds with 45 minutes to go. Final push for everyone in all classes. I think pit stops are now done unless anyone is out of sync and had big issues. I can see a few Audis haven't pitted down in the BLC4 class. But yeah, big push now towards the end. 45 minutes to go.
Yeah, indeed. I think Kim Behait might actually have gotten past. He's up into 4th place. I think he got passed on Luke Tice, but it is the situation currently. Top 12, all Lamborghinis. Then the first 2 Porsche 911 Cup cars here of Christoph Raas and Boudewijn Kuster. A few more Lambos as well.
It's Kim Behait still, who is chasing down one of the GT4 cars up ahead.
Oh, and here goes Diego Hames. I'm sorry, in the number 12 car. That's for 2nd place in GT4.
Wow. Oh yeah, there he is. We were keeping an eye on that battle actually, so that was down into the hairpin. Didn't look too late on the brakes. It looked like a done deal. He just looks like he's given him plenty of room to have that, hasn't he? I don't know there's no way you got confused thinking it was a GT3 coming through, but yeah.
Diego Hames in a very good position, but he's chasing Thomas Stuckmans in the 84 Tita Network Esports machine.
There we go. He's up the inside as we come down the main straight now. That's 4 classes all in one shot. There's some Audis in there as well. As the 999 car is holding the inside line. The Porsche GT4's tucking behind. There's a Lambo in front giving him a nice tow, as well as the Audi back there as well down this stadium section.
And I'm just gonna mention that battle between Christoph Raas here in the 999 machines, Flemish Sports. Oh, a little bit of a luck up there as he goes past the 154 TCR, but does so successfully. Boudewijn Kuster has shaved off just over 10 seconds, but it's taken him around 20 minutes to do so. So at this rate, Christoph Raas is looking very good, and of course nothing's over yet.
No.
And that's certainly something we've learned about this race a long time ago. It's unpredictable, and I wouldn't be one to say that I want to call anything at this time yet, because still everything is very much undecided here. It isn't over before Kuster finishes, says Hans Poelmans. That's a very good point. And that's exactly my point from before as well. Because it's a fast gentleman indeed to have chasing you. That, of course, will also be putting on the pressure there to Christoph Raas, because he knows he has to perform in order not to get caught too quickly. Up ahead, it's still Christoph Raas, Boudewijn Kuster. And let's see, they're separated by 17 seconds. So while the gap is coming down, I think it's decreasing at a rate where I'm not quite sure that Boudewijn Kuster is actually going to be able to catch up, but it could be getting very close, so eyes kept on that battle as well. Then I think with the TCRs, also a fair few candidates. Of course, the Flemish machines always deserves a mention, and they've certainly not gotten any worse since last time out. I see a few updates to the livery indeed, but they always very, very recognizable with the black, gold, and red of the Belgian flag, but of course also in a little bit of their own rendition.
As we approach a century of laps, on lap 99 now with 11 minutes to go.
Indeed, coming towards the final 10 minutes of this race, and the minutes have really flown by. Of course, as the race settles in, it takes to... And no driver change as well, Kimberhate says, yeah, so that's going to be a problem for them, I am quite sure. But they both have Keanu Borgagnon, who we've hardly even mentioned Keanu. But Keanu Borgagnon in the Flemish Sim Sports White 13 car is, well, steadily catching the machines in front, especially Robert Janssen, so we could see those three cars coming in together here. Now here comes Borgagnon on Robert Janssens. Robert Janssens has into the hairpin. Janssens defending well, knowing that there's just 8 minutes left. So at this point, well, you do want to go defensive. And Keanu Borgagnon will have to set it up. Sorry there, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I love the mindset change at this point in the race. Now that there's 8 minutes left to go, everyone knows the checkered flag is coming up. So the whole 3 hours, everything you've been racing for, boils down to this moment. If you can see a car in front, you want that position. If you see him up the road, you're going to be pushing hard to try and close that gap and gain that position. And of course, if you're in the lead or holding those positions, you're going to defend as hard as you can. Now is the time where we start seeing the fighting again.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, and it's great to see battles coming back together here in the final few minutes of a race like this. It's what you love to see. And Keanu Borgagnon is on a hunt for points at the moment. And he sees not only one, but maybe two. And with a bit of luck, 3 cars up ahead in positions that are all within touching distance or thereabouts. Well, it's not much that has to happen up ahead for Keanu to gain a few positions here. So he'll be hoping for someone else to have a bit of a nightmare there in the last few minutes. Here's Hendrik de Grave. In a calm, cool situation at the moment. Recovered to 4th.
I did see, well, Hendrik de Grave, for Flemish Sim Sports Red in the BLC4 class, is back up into P4 after very early on. He had that. He was the victim of the rejoin, wasn't he? On lap 1, I think it was.
Yeah.
So they've done well to get back up to P4. This is Christoph Rice in the 999 car with the clever pun of a rear wing on the back. Looking fully in control of BLC2 now after the Kuster spin. Well, they were looking in control anyway. It was going to be touch and go, wasn't it? But now it's a fairly done deal for the Flemish Sim Sports yellow team here. Coming around to turn 1, 5 minutes to go. This is Bourguignon on the inside. Into turn 2, that is. So they're going to continue this battle down the main straight. Look at this. Switchback after switchback. The number 7 car. This is Janssens, still behind. He tucks in the slipstream. That's the leader behind as well, just watching this happen. You've got to say, this run looks on. The slipstream, he's using up all of that draft. Going defensive is Bourguignon, and he goes to the outside. Does Rob Janssens. He's going to try and make it stick. He gets the nose in front. He's still there. He's earned the room. And the battle continues with the Audis up ahead as they now go towards the fast right-hander. Still side by side. Rob Janssens is round the outside. No, sorry. Do you know what? I've lost it.
That is Robbie Janssens round the outside.
It was.
Brave.
Amazing.
Bourguignon also very respectful there, giving ample amounts of space on the outside for Janssens to complete the move. Good racing here. And of course, Bourguignon knows that there are still plenty of chances to be had. Just under 4 minutes left to go.
Yeah, race isn't over yet. He's still well within the slipstream. You can see him right there. So that'll continue again. Probably, well, that'll go till the end, I reckon.
So white flag waved here, and that means Erlenbroek is just about to come home. 10 seconds left. It'll be the final lap. He's down towards the hairpin here. Here comes Christoph Raser, takes the win as well. And BLC2 in the 911 Cups. The 999 machine gets the win here. And what a beautiful drive it's been for them as well. While we've already got Thomas Stockmans and the Tata car out there doing donuts ahead of Robbie Janssens. Although that battle isn't really over yet. Look at that, it's Chimmy Look into the final corners. And what is happening here? Janssens, he's out of fuel. Oh, Robbie Janssens is out of fuel on the final lap into the final bend. Bourguignon well passed, as well as Yagi Soklu. And that's incredible. That's this race has had absolutely everything. With the Lamborghinis of the BLC1 class, of course, winning GT Racing the 99 machine ahead of Valkyrie Esports X in the 219 car. JWS Motorsports gets third ahead of PSR Total Plan Racing Simtech E-Team number 4. Dynamics MD Design and the number 27 car, and Flemish Sim Sports White, both managing to pass a very, very stricken number 9. Fast Racing by Extreme Card was moving extremely slowly there on the final lap. Valkyrie Esports by Francorchamps gets 10th ahead of Simtech E-Team, that is, sorry, a little bit of environmental damage for me there. Simtech E-Team, number 86 car in 11th, ahead of VR Racing 12th. Sim District GT3 by BMS Vibe Esports in 13th place. And Dynamics Racing Simulators in 14th. BSim Racing GT3 15th. And then Valkyrie Esports Rookie in 16th. And then rounding off that field, the very unlucky souls of Vapor Shop RDR Motorsports in the number 30 car. And with that, over to Jack for the results in BLC2.
Yeah, so BLC2, here they come. So we've got 6 teams up there. We've got the Flemish Sim Sports Yellow team, number 999. The winners today of the second class. JWS Motorsport, number 11 car, only 15 seconds behind in 3 hours of racing. So a cracking effort from them. Optica by Dynamics is in 3rd place, the number 32 car, 1 lap down. Joining them on that 1 lap is Eagle Race Simulators Esports. They were also 1 lap down. In 5th place was Sim Formula Europe, the 24 car, were 2 laps down, and in the end, ART Sim Racing 5 laps down overall.
Indeed, brilliant. BLC 3 and the results coming up here. The 84 machine of Tita Network Esports winning by 41 seconds down to Flemish Sim Sports Black in the number 12 machine, and Brab in the number 9 car getting a podium finish here. RP Motorsports by DB Racing in 4th place ahead of Greenleaf, who's a lap down. B Sim Racing GT4 in the 912 car, they're 6 ahead of Decipit Racing Team, who are also very unlucky on the opening lap of the race, and despite of that only finishing a lap down in the end, so actually a pretty good fight back from them. The mighty Pink Panther Racing 48 car, good looking but with bad luck today, ending up 8th in class ahead of RP Motorsports and JJ Motorsports in 10th.
Yeah, so the final class then, BLC4, again another smaller field, but you've got 7 cars out there, 7 teams. Sim District TCR Green by BMS Esports were your winners, the number 45 car. In 2nd place was the same team, different colour, Sim District TCR Orange by BMS Esports. 1 lap down, CCTS Esports Belcar 132 are in 3rd. Flemish Sim Sports Red, the number 69 car in 4th. 5th was QSR Racing Esports 334. The 6th place, Dynamics Racing Blue, the number 71 car, and 7th place, rounding off the field, 3 laps down, was Sim District TCR Red by BMS Esports.
Absolutely brilliant indeed, and what a race it's been. I think it is time for us to have a few interviews coming in here, and we can just get the... There it is. Thank you. Interview time, of course it is, and we've got some race winners to chat to. Now let's just get them in the booth. And first off, Hans Poelmans. Hans, welcome in.
Hello, Hasse.
The 999 car finally getting a win in BLC2. How does that feel?
It feels great. We had no idea what happened to Mr. Kuster, and we were very surprised that he entered the pit very early. I came to know that he had the wrong setup with a bit less fuel in it, so that explained why he needed to pit early, which was our benefit. And then he had some issues later on. Some minor incidents at the end of the race caused him to be still 15 seconds behind us, so we got lucky.
Yeah, indeed, and a very attritional race there in the end. Did you expect that kind of race here at Hockenheim, or weren't you expecting something a little more orderly, as we saw the start down at the Porsche Cup car class there? Very chaotic indeed.
Yeah, I didn't actually know what to expect, to be honest, because the Lamborghini is a new car and it's faster in the corners, but it's slower on the straights, so it's interesting to drive around them.
Indeed, and with a win here on the opening round, it puts you in a perfect position for the rest of the championship here, Hans. How are you going to be approaching the next rounds of racing here?
Well, like we do all the time, just be cautious and try to do our laps and survive.
Well, indeed, that sounds like a viable plan to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Hans Poelmans and the winners of the BLC2 class, the 999 car. Of course, Hans, before we let you off and enjoy the evening and the victory indeed, is there anyone you'd like to give a thanks or a shout out to?
Yep, big shout out to our sponsor, new this season, Viraco, who does racing simulators, for sponsoring the entry fee for us. So it's a big win for us, and we hope to continue to work with them throughout the season and maybe next season as well.
Indeed, beautiful. Thanks for joining us for the interview. It was a pleasure having you along, and congratulations indeed.
Thanks.
On the race win.
Till next time.
Till next time, mate.
Bye bye.